Daniel Carter, the CEO of a massive New York corporation, wasn't supposed to be in that early. But that morning, something compelled him to arrive before sunrise. As he stepped into the quiet building, he noticed everything was already spotless, floors shining, windows crystal clear. That's when he saw her, Maria, the night shift cleaner, silently wiping down a glass panel with tired but practiced movements. She didn't expect anyone to be there. Her shoulders stiffened when she realized she wasn't alone. Daniel greeted her gently, thanking her for her work, and as she turned, a shadow on her arm caught his eye. Beneath the rolled sleeve, faint purple bruises trailed along her skin. He paused. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice low and sincere. Maria immediately straightened up, offering a small smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Just clumsy." "It's nothing," she replied. But Daniel had been in enough boardrooms to read what people didn't say. Her eyes were heavy with something deeper than fatigue, pain, worry, maybe fear. He didn't want to push her, not then, but the image of those bruises stayed with him. There was a weight in his chest, a sense that he'd seen something he wasn't meant to ignore. Most CEOs would have walked past her. Most people had walked past her. But that morning, Daniel couldn't. Something about her silence screamed louder than words. And though he didn't know it yet, this quiet moment would change both their lives forever. Back in his office, Daniel couldn't shake the image of Maria's bruises. He tried to go about his day, emails, reports, back-to-back meetings, but her quiet smile and tired eyes kept resurfacing in his mind. Eventually, he called the HR director into his office and casually asked about Maria. Has she ever filed a complaint? Requested help? Mentioned any kind of hardship? The answer was no. Maria had worked for the company for over 8 years. Never missed a shift. Never asked for anything. She's just dependable, HR said, almost dismissively. That word struck Daniel. Dependable, yes, but also invisible. Still unsettled, Daniel headed to the security office. He asked to see recent footage of the night shift. As the recordings played, a pattern emerged. Maria moved slowly, often pausing to catch her breath. At one point, she leaned against a wall, clutching her ribs. Another time, she limped slightly while pushing a heavy cleaning cart. These weren't signs of carelessness, they were signs of quiet suffering. No one else had noticed. Or maybe they had, and just didn't care. That realization hit Daniel hard. The people who worked in the background, who made the building shine while everyone else slept, were rarely seen, rarely heard. And Maria, carrying pain on her shoulders and still doing her job with dignity, had become a symbol of that silent struggle. Daniel now knew this wasn't something he could ignore. Something had to change. And he would be the one to start it. The next day, Daniel personally invited Maria to the rooftop garden, a quiet, green space few employees ever visited. She looked confused and nervous, clutching her cleaning cloth like a shield. "Am I in trouble?" she asked softly. Daniel shook his head. "Not at all," he said kindly. "I just wanted to talk." They sat on a bench surrounded by flowers and the soft hum of the city below. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Daniel gently said, "I noticed your bruises yesterday. I didn't want to pry, but I'm worried. Are you safe?" Maria looked down, her eyes brimming. She hesitated, then, with a shaky breath, opened up. "It's not what you think," she said. "I'm not being hurt by someone. I work nights here, and then I unload shipments at a warehouse till morning. I barely sleep. The bruises are from lifting boxes, bumping into things when I'm too tired to think straight." Daniel's heart sank. "Why would you do that to yourself?" She looked up, eyes proud yet worn. "My son has a rare disease. The treatments are expensive. Insurance doesn't cover most of it. so I do what I have to. I don't want pity, I just want him to live." Her words left Daniel speechless. In that moment, he saw not just an employee, but a mother carrying the weight of the world in silence. Her strength was humbling. Her story, unforgettable. And he knew then, he couldn't just walk away from this. He had to act. The following morning, the entire staff was called into the main conference room, a place usually reserved for quarterly reports and board meetings. Whispers filled the space. No one knew why the CEO had scheduled a surprise company-wide announcement. When Daniel walked in, he wasn't wearing his usual power suit. He looked thoughtful, almost emotional. Behind him stood Maria, visibly nervous, holding her hands tightly in front of her. Daniel began with a simple statement: "We often celebrate performance, profits, and milestones. But today, I want to talk about something far more important: humanity." He shared Maria's story, not to expose her, but to honor her. He spoke about her sacrifices, her courage, and the silent strength she carried every night while most of them slept. She didn't ask for help. But she inspired change, he said, voice steady but heavy with emotion. Then came the announcement: a new employee support program, fully funded by the company. It would include emergency medical aid, financial assistance for struggling families, mental health support, and fairer protections for night shift workers. "No one in this company should ever have to carry that kind of burden alone," Daniel said. The room fell silent. Maria's eyes welled with tears. Then, slowly, someone began to clap. It spread like wildfire. The entire room stood, applauding, not just Daniel's leadership, but Maria's resilience. It was more than a policy change. It was a cultural shift. For the first time, many saw Maria not as just a cleaner, but as a hero in her own right. Weeks later, the company looked and felt different. Maria no longer worked back-to-back shifts. She had been promoted to a supervisory role in the facilities team, overseeing safety standards and mentoring new hires. More importantly, her son was now receiving advanced treatment at a private hospital, his medical bills fully covered by the newly established Employee Assistance Fund. Employees across departments began contributing in small but powerful ways, donating paid time off, volunteering for community drives, even starting a meal program for staff with struggling families. Inspired by Maria's story, a quiet culture of compassion had taken root. One afternoon, Daniel watched from his office window as Maria guided a group of new hires through orientation. She stood taller now, more confident, her smile genuine and warm. The woman who once worked silently in the shadows was now a respected figure, someone whose story had touched the heart of an entire company. Daniel stepped back from the window, feeling something shift within himself. It wasn't just about leading with vision or strategy anymore, it was about leading with humanity. As the camera pans out, Maria walks down the corridor, exchanging warm greetings with employees, no longer invisible, no longer just a name on the schedule. A simple line appears on screen. "Sometimes, seeing someone means saving them." And with that, the story closes, not with an ending, but with a legacy of kindness that continues to grow.